My name is Stephanie Bowens, and I'm from Rochester, New York. And I recently came out here from the DMV from Maryland, and I wanted to share with you about my journey with breast cancer. I found out that I had breast cancer when I was 36 years old, which is pretty much like a year ago. And how it happened was me and my girlfriends were celebrating our birthday in August of 2021, and we went and got nipple piercings. They were fun, but when I came back home, mine was leaking, and it was leaking regular discharge, and then it turned into blood. And that's when I had to go to the doctor. When I went to the doctor, she told me, she said, oh, we're gonna do a biopsy and just cut it open, and maybe it's just an inflamed duct sac. And I was like, okay, that'll be cool. And she did the test, and she said, we'll call you in a week. And I was like, okay. And she's like, we'll talk to you later. And I went to work, and 2 days go by, and I get a phone call. And I missed it, but the message was like, hey, this is Dr. So-and-so, we need to call you, talk to you about your results, da, 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 da. And I knew it was bad news, because you don't call anybody, you said a week, it's been 2 days. So I knew something, they must have found something. So I was like, all right, what's up, doc? And she's like, it's unfortunate, but I want to tell you that you have breast cancer. And in that moment, I probably froze to death. I didn't know what to think. How? Where did this type of thing come from? It's not on either side of the family. So first person I called was my mom. And I called her, I told my boss I need to go outside for a quick break. And I called my mom and I said, Mom, she just told me that I had breast cancer. She's like, and my mom, she's so resilient and she's so compassionate, and that's where I get it from. She's like, okay, so what are we gonna do next? So what's the next step? And I was like, thank God for you. After that, it was a slew of tests. I had to get a CT scan, I had to get a colonoscopy, I had to get a sonogram, I had to do IVF. My doctor told me to do IVF because I obviously don't have any kids. And so she was like, oh, we want you to freeze your eggs, so maybe down the line, if you do want kids, you can have them, because who knows what will happen after chemo. And I was like, you're right. So I went to that first. And after I got all the tests done, they gave me these injection shots that I had to do. And it was hard. And long story short, I got 21 eggs.
Nice.
So I had 21 eggs that I
Amazing.
froze in there, and that was really good. And then after the IVF was when we started chemo. Chemo was very hard. I went into it thinking very positively, like, okay, I'm gonna attack this right to the head, not be negative, because the first time I was in there, the patient across from me, he was really negative. He was like, oh, chemo sucks, and I hate this, I hate the way I feel. And I was just like, oh man, I don't want it to be like this for me. Every time I went to my chemo visit, there was somebody with me. So they were my cameraman, so I'd have them, I said, hey, just press this button for like 10 seconds here, 10 seconds here. And I was like, I'm just gonna form. They're like, you don't have anything planned? No, we're just gonna wing it every time. And I was like, I might mono walk to you, I might dance, I might do this, so they was like, okay, whatever, just let me know whatever we gotta do. And I was like, all right, cool. So we kind of just like went for it. And like, fashion just brings me so much joy, like walking the halls of the hospital like a fashion model was fun. Okay, everybody was looking at me and everybody's like, oh, who's that? Like, hey girl, so it was just so fun to do that. And that's why I incorporated like the changing of the outfits and the makeup and the jewelry and everything. Just like, I was like, well, this is gonna be my own runway beating cancer. So I went in there. First, I went in there with just dressing up nice. I had like a little skirt, a little like bodysuit, looking all cute, But then I started dressing up in like Where's Waldo, the girl from Encanto. I was a flapper. I did a Wakanda warrior, a League of Their Own costume also. It was a bunch of stuff. So I did all that, and I picked different songs, and I did dances. The nurses and everybody on the staff, they loved it. Every week they were looking forward to what are you gonna wear next week? I hadn't cried the whole time or been emotional the whole time. I was just like stone face killer, just trying to, let's get through this, let's power through this, whatever. And when I did have my last treatment and I rang the bell, I almost cried, but I didn't. I stayed strong, still even through that. And it was when I went to my family's house, because everybody came in town for Thanksgiving. And when I came in there, it was so much love, so much of my family. They're so happy. And then like they had t-shirts with, encouraging me with my name on the back of the shirt. And like my auntie, she kept telling me, ring the bell, keep ringing it, keep ringing it, keep ringing it. And I rang it, and I just rang it, and so many times I burst into tears. I couldn't help it at that. It was so many emotions. It was just an awesome day. And so from here, I just volunteer my time and just be a light to others. I just told myself I didn't want to be down. I didn't want to be, negative, because negativity doesn't get you anywhere, So I was like, I want to make it fun. That's me. That's my personality. So that's what drove it. Well, so I love fashion. I've loved fashion since I was a little girl. I've always wanted to be on the runway. I love doing photo shoots. They're so fun. So the dress was made by the amazing Dominique, and I asked her for this dress because last year I was going through chemo and I wasn't able to celebrate my birthday. So I was pretty exhausted. I didn't do anything, and I just wanted this birthday this year to do something fun. After going through chemo and going through the experience I've been through, it's like live life, just live. And so I wanted this dress made because I wanted to feel beautiful afterwards. It was so hard for me to be bare-chested like this. I used to have overcoats and sweaters and stuff because I was just ashamed. People look at you funny. They don't understand, So to me, this is like bring back my femininity. So I can't wait to wear it for my birthday. I feel authentically me. I feel like I can be myself. I feel like even without breasts, I can still be me, And your chest doesn't make you who you are. It's who you are afterwards, after what you go through. So I just feel like me being me and me being authentically me is what's like pushing me and bringing me through all this stuff, and it's how I'm able to make an effect on other people, have an impact, like every time I tell a story, this happens to me. But it's good though.
It's a powerful story.